The two people that really inspired me as a child really were mainly obviously Roald Dahl's books, and I sort of did my bit as a children's author. So Roald Dahl was sort of, I guess, the first creative inspiration there was. But then secondly, it was Robin Williams, who was just a massive influence, in terms of his not just his acting, but like his improv and creativity, and play, that sense of play. For when he was like the genie in Aladdin, Mrs. Doubtfire, and just sort of going off or doing his own thing a little bit to really sort of create his own versions of these characters.
Nanu.
Nanu, Morgan Mindy, absolutely. And just that idea of creativity and creating.
Hello, it's Coco, and we are coming to you with another very exciting Big Chat episode. I feel very privileged to talk to this person. And his name is actually Lawrence Prestidge, but he is he's a writer, and it's fantastic. As everyone knows, we've met lots of interesting people, but I don't think I've ever spoken to, well, I do know a writer who's doing a screenplay, but I have never spoken to a writer who's actually created a series that's going to be on Amazon Prime. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Yeah. For people that are listening, I guess we've had a bit of a a fun conversation whilst we've sort of been waiting to record, whilst we've had a bit of car issues today, haven't we?
Should we share? Should we share our car issues? Should we share? Should we cross-share? We literally, I've just picked up my daughter, dropped off my friend's child, because they didn't have a car and he's not very well. And so I dropped him off, and then I managed to reverse into a car. And then I got back in time to podcast with Lawrence, and Lawrence was running a little bit late because someone had reversed into his car. I don't know if we're allowed to say who that is.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't you. It was a popular delivery service.
It was a very popular delivery service. And it's really funny because we're talking about this series that you're doing. Or this. So listen, for those who are listening, it's probably funnier to us than anyone else, but yeah. I like to share. It's really nice of you to come on and chat to us. Thank you. I'm very excited to hear about this. I mean, I'm just reading all about it, and it's called Keep Calm and Carry On.
Keep calm and carry on.
I mean, you couldn't get much more apt today for us to have our first conversation. Keep calm and carry on, because that's exactly what we're doing. You've just been on hold for the best part of an hour.
Yeah.
And I've just been run ragged through the town. But that's what the Big Chat's about. It's about talking to real people, and it's about real experiences. And it's really, I like to talk to people that inspire me and why they're inspired and how they got into doing things. So would you mind, for the benefit of our audience, Lawrence, telling people a bit more about you? Because you look pretty young.
Okay, thanks.
You take that one, oldie. You look pretty young, but I mean, you've been a writer for a long time, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How did this all percolate? And then we'll get to the real important bit for now.
Yeah, I think the two people that really inspired me as a child really were mainly obviously Roald Dahl's books, and I sort of did my bit as a children's author. So Roald Dahl was sort of, I guess, the first creative inspiration there was. But then secondly, it was Robin Williams, who was just a massive influence, in terms of his not just his acting, but like his improv and creativity, and play, that sense of play. For when he was like the genie in Aladdin, Mrs. Doubtfire, and just sort of going off or doing his own thing a little bit to really sort of create his own versions of these characters.
Nanu.
Nanu, Morgan Mindy, absolutely. And just that idea of creativity and creating. I think more than anything, it was more characters that I really enjoyed to create. Yeah. Even just, I don't know, I used to really love playing The Sims, right? The computer game. Yeah, as a kid, like The Sims.
I remember The Sims.
The Sims was a great PC game, and I used to really just create the whole process of just creating characters and putting them in these situations and things like that. I remember just really enjoying that. I just creating these characters as I don't know, how old I would have been, 11, 12 years old or something. But yeah, and that's sort of where that sort of play idea of creating came from. And I did a bit of acting for a while. I was always doing panto and musicals. I worked at Disneyland for a couple of years acting over there.
Listen, I want to know about this. Giles, our producer, earlier said to me, "Oh, did you know he was at yeah?" I thought he said Yellow Disney.
Yellow Disney.
I was like, Yellow Disney. This is new Disney World I've not heard of. But
could get in trouble for saying that. Yellow Disney.
Yeah. No. Well, if we are, Giles will cut it out. So that's fine. But Euro Disney, what character were you playing at Euro Disney? Because I think
I played a few lookalike characters. I was Bert from Mary Poppins.
Brilliant.
I was Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid. I was Gaston from Beauty and the Beast.
Amazing.
Flynn Rider, and I did a bit of Jack Sparrow.
Sparrow.
Yeah, a little bit. Didn't see that one coming when they said I got approved for Jack Sparrow, but they kind of go by the shape of your face, and they can kind of, once they sort of put the fake tan on you, the beard and the wig and everything, you kind of go, oh yeah, they do. I kind of see it now, but it's it was really great to do that for a couple of years, and I was the baby when I went to Disney. I auditioned when I was 17. You had to be 18 to work there. So I think it was about 10 days after my 18th birthday. I went to Paris to go play Disney.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You really enjoyed getting into character. Did you have a favourite? Did you have a particular favourite character?
I really liked doing Bert from Mary Poppins, because that was kind of the one I did most of. But you kind of got to do a bit of the old school singing a bit more, rather than Prince. When I was doing Prince Eric from Little Mermaid, for example, no one really cared about me. it was all just about her. I was kind of an accessory. You'd be doing meet and greets, and kids would come up to me and Ariel and go, "Oh, hi, Ariel," and you kind of go, "Okay, I might as well just not be here then. Really, I'm just the kind of accessory to her." I think doing Bert and doing old Chim Chimney stuff and a bit of singing and a bit of acting that was fun. It was fun being the cheeky Bert.
So you did it. So you did the cheeky Bert, and then what? So then where from that? 18. Wow, that's really young.
Yeah,
you
18
kind of knew the direction you wanted to be going in, obviously.
Yeah, I did that for a couple of years and sort of left and did a bit more panto and musicals and things like that. But I think for any sort of actor that's sort of getting a bit older, you kind of start to worry where the next job's coming from, sort of worrying about your finances really. And as you get older, you have more needs and things like that. I started to do a bit of teaching as well alongside acting. But then I guess sort of going back to what I was passionate about as a kid and wanting to write and meeting different writers and communicating with different writers. Giles was one of them, Stephen Butler, and just, getting advice about children's literature and writing children's books, and thought I'd give it a go, to be honest. And and that's kind of what I've been doing over the last few years.
That's actually how I met Giles. I helped to promote one of his books. So so it's lovely. One of my most enjoyable experiences was going to a little publicity launch of A Little Bell in the Moon, and a beautiful book that Giles wrote, and just he's so I just think anyone that can create that creativity is wonderful. I just create crazy things, but I can't get it onto paper. I have to get other people to do that for me. I get it out of here, just can't get it down there. So you've done. How many books did you write? How many children's books did you write?
I have 4 different children's books, and I did my first sort of self-help book as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Last year.
And the self-help book, self-help book. How did that all come about?
I think it was sort of reflecting on your own experiences and thinking how you can potentially help someone, even if it just helps one person, then it's worth doing. It wasn't necessarily thinking, I want, to really promote this book loads. It was more just kind of, again, it's cheaper than therapy writing. So you kind of just spill your stuff onto paper. And and I think, just going back to when I was a younger guy, the whole idea of binge drinking on a Saturday and it affecting your mood and things like that, and the experiences that you kind of went through, and you sort of lost yourself a bit going through that cycle of binge drinking on Saturday and then going just sort of drink and repeat sort of thing. And just I think there can be a lot of pressure on young guys, I think, to not open up about how they're feeling and put on a mask, put on the toxic masculinity thing, like I'm fine, it's all okay. And I'm 32 and I've met a few people that I went to school with, a few people I worked with in Disney, university, and so I'm only 32. I've known 5 guys similar to my age have killed themselves, and it's just been like that. It's come out of nowhere. And I just thought, at 32, that's pretty crazy. 5 people that I've known, some more well than others, but like fairly well, all of them have took their own lives. And I think that's like, and all 5 of them, you wouldn't have known anything was wrong. Like there was no signs of it. And I think a lot of it's just not being able to talk about it, and I think with the book that I wrote, The Boy Who Lost His Smile, I thought, it's a little shameless plug there. It's called The Boy That Lost His Smile.
Read that, and that's a beautiful name for a book. I mean, it's not a beautiful thing to lose your smile, but The Boy That Lost.
So that was kind of the idea of writing that, and hoping it helps, at the very least, help people to know that it's perfectly okay to talk about if you're struggling, rather than hit the binge drinking like I was doing.
You're a very strange guest for me today, Lawrence.
Oh, okay.
I actually gave up drinking 27 days ago, fully.
27 days ago, okay.
27 days ago. I've been to 27 meetings for 27 days because I, like many others, when I get stressed, binge drink. And it was not suiting me at all. Because like you say, you get depressed afterwards. Got very sad.
Yeah, you do. And I think, people think like, unless you're drinking every day, like you're not an alcoholic and you don't have a problem.
If you think you've got a problem, you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was just like, well, I just drink on a Friday and Saturday night. It's fine. I
just 3 bottles of Prosecco. There's no problem with that.
Yeah, exactly. Right? It's all, but then, but what I realized with the cycle that I was having was like, I would drink heavily on a Friday, Saturday night. Sunday, I wouldn't be too bad. I'd just be like hungover. When it got to like the Monday and Tuesday, I just felt really, really depressed, like really, really just like low. And and it was just a cycle. And it's, you sort of perk yourself up for a Friday and Saturday night and just kind of, let's do it again. And then what could go wrong? And it just turns into this vicious
it's cycle. A circle, isn't it?
Yeah.
You do. You literally, as a friend of mine said to me the other day, he said, you don't drink every day. You've never drunk every day or gone to the pub or done anything like that. But I think, people that are under pressure, or that, like you say, like Robin Williams, for example, everything looks great on the outside, but it's what's on the inside. And if you're stressed or whatever, or under pressure, and especially with men, some of the rooms that I've been into in meetings have been full of young men, and it's really, it's really sad, and they're people that have thrown themselves in front of cars and tried to end it all very young. And I've just sort of said, well, I'm glad you've gotten in now, because I'm 47, and I'm glad that because mental health, it's not talked about enough, is it? And especially with men, it's so important. And yeah, you're right, binge drinking, because I would honestly, again, a bit like the rear end reversing was the same as you. I would be Friday, Saturday when the kids went to their dads, and then Sunday, Monday, not too well, Monday, Tuesday, miserable at work, just couldn't, just nervous, anxiety, horrible, waking up with the fear. So that, so I'm going to read that book, definitely. And you've got a podcast as well. Obviously you produced a podcast. Was that around the same time? Because that's
I think we were doing the podcast as I was writing that that book. And it was more, with Giles's help produce the show, and thinking of hopefully doing a new series as we sort of come out of the summer now. But yeah, it was the shapes of stories, and it's just been amazing. I think the lockdown helped getting a hold of some of the guests that we managed to get a hold on. Gary Lineker, Eddie Izzard, Judge Rinda, Sunita. Some of them were really great to talk to, and it was really and like Nicky Campbell again, like he was just amazing to talk to, because he was talked openly about having bipolar, and that was just a really interesting
I didn't know.
Conversation. I don't think I knew that until I was researching about him. And Rob Rinder talking, and never openly, I don't think to my knowledge beforehand, had spoke about having depression, but I was able to talk to him. He was talking about having depression himself when he was, I think he'd come back off a trip or something, and he came back feeling very depressed. So, yeah, it was amazing sort of having these, in some cases, these sort of quite deep conversations with some of these people that I'd only never met before, but like watching them on TV. So it was interesting with how some of them opened up more than others. But yeah, it was really interesting to have those conversations. It was I really enjoyed talking, and you got to meet great people like yourself and Giles through podcasting.
I know. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's amazing. It's amazing the way you can connect with people, and the synchronicities. And I think, and just the fact that you can share so much knowledge and information, and just digest it in so many ways now. I mean, I blame Giles for my podcast. It's his fault.
Well, the podcasting, like with the going to the series, Keep Calm and Carry On, like the podcasting just really helped with casting it, because when I was talking to Kay, the producer, she was like, well, we got these characters. Who do you think of people that could cast in it? And like I think there's 3 or 4 of them that we have that I had on my podcast, and I just kind of it was really handy to cut out the middle man of the agent, like sending scripts to agents to kind of see if they want to pass on to their client, where I could kind of just like go, do you like the script, directly to the person? They'd be like, yeah, I'll do it. So yeah, that was handy doing the podcast to get some of these guys casted for the show.
That is just so, and that's also great, because you've got someone in your mind, haven't you? You've had an intimate conversation with someone, got to know them, and then you're thinking about your character, and you're like, wow, yeah, that person would really fit with that. That's a pretty cool thing to do as well. How long did it take you? I mean, look, this is going to be on Amazon. It's the 28th. Sorry if you hear a bark. I've got a needy little dog, everyone.
That's all right. Mine's down there.
Yes, mine will just sit at the door and whine. So he has to sit on my lap, I'm afraid. But literally, it's going to be coming out on the 28th of September.
Yeah, not too long now. Yeah.
That's so exciting.
It is.
That is really exciting. I mean, how's this process been? How long did it take you?
So we were filming this exact day last year. We were filming.
So we were not.
Yeah, so it was all in September last year. We were filming.
Yeah.
And the whole process was great. Just like I said, got Kelly Shirley on board, who has been in The Office and EastEnders and In the Long Run. Yeah. Who plays my wife in the series, and we got Jessin Piazzi. Holly Matthews, and through Kelly we got Harriet Thorpe, who was in AbFab, who's was amazing, great. Her timing comedically is very, it was really good to see, really interesting to see that. But yeah, I mean, the whole process was just not really sure what would happen after you sort of write that first episode. I wasn't sure if I was writing a play or a screenplay. I thought, originally I had these characters in mind, but like I didn't know if it was just going to be kind of like an interactive play kind of thing that we did on YouTube, or something where families were just kind of communicating in lockdown through Zoom or something like that. I wasn't sure if that's kind of how the sort of first parts of the ideas came about. And but yeah, then we just had this idea of, well, maybe we could say there's like a physical documentary crew filming COVID, life, about families in lockdown and coping with the year 2020, because it wasn't just COVID that we were all dealing with, was it? It was Brexit. It was we had the Black Lives Matter movement. We had the Donald Trump election. There was so much stuff happening in 2020. Not all great stuff, but it was just all kind of being confided in that house, whilst the news was just blurring us with so much crap, and it's not about COVID really. None of the characters get COVID or anything like that in the series. It's more just about being in lockdown with your family and driving each other a bit nuts. That's kind of what the show's about. And
it's based around 3 different but connected families, isn't it? And how they deal with the ups and downs of that. So yeah. That's interesting. I mean, and of course you're obviously acting in this as well. So we get to see you've not just written this, but you've helped produce it and you're acting in it. I mean, you must be really I'd be very excited about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was nice to kind of have the backing to do it, because obviously I haven't acted in quite a while. Like I've been doing lots of
you didn't be a Jack Sparrow in this series?
No, I couldn't do the Cockney Burt or anything like that.
The
chimney sweep. Yeah. But it was nice to felt backed by Katie, the producer, and Martin, the director, and the cast, and Kelly playing my wife. Because we had we knew each other quite well beforehand, and we'd been talking a lot before filming, and it was nice just kind of feel like you had that banter between yourself as a husband and wife quite early. So that was good. And it was my first television thing that I've done, but I really enjoyed it.
And how many episodes are there? Because I like to binge.
Yeah.
And I will be binging this. How many have I got?
It's not too bad. So you've got 3 episodes.
I like lots.
Okay. Well, there's 3 episodes, and then plus the Christmas special. We're hoping we can do more. Hopefully, if people like the show, we can recommission and do more episodes in the series and stuff. But it was just about getting these 4 episodes down and seeing what their reaction was first. And
how did it change as you went through the process? As you were exploring, sort of, obviously you'd written the content, but when you got everyone together, was there other things that were coming up as you were going through the process? How was that?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly shaped, once you sort of knew who was playing who, it certainly shaped some of the future episodes, because you know who you're sort of writing for at that stage. And after filming these 4 episodes, I'm just desperate to write more episodes, because now I know the characters a lot better, a lot more, and can physically know who's playing them. You just have all these ideas. And I had to say someone called Simon Fielding, who's a bit of a panto legend in Essex. He hasn't done too much TV. He's done a few little bits, I think he's been in Corrie and a few other things, but he was amazing playing one of the same-sex partners in the series. And he plays a character called Spencer, and I think a star is going to be born through that show. Yeah, that's
amazing. If you were to I mean, obviously you don't want to reveal everything, but if obviously we know it's during the pandemic and it's the lockdown, and it's how different families are, they're connected. What else can you tell us about it to get people really excited, because they're all going to be watching it?
Yeah, I think what we try and do is we try and make it so relatable to everyone. So we have 3 different families who are connected. We don't try, it's like, when we say it's during the 2020 pandemic, it's not too much about COVID. It's, we take the humorous sides of it, the fact that you've got a out of shape dad that's trying to do Joe Wicks with his kids with his kids in TV. The fact when everyone did the COVID test for the first time, there was something quite comedic about that, shoving this thing down your throat and up your nose to see if you had COVID. Dealing with.
My daughter, I did it in her sleep.
Yeah, stuff like that. You know,
Feel
there's
terrified.
people's reactions to the vaccines, people going nuts about toilet paper and there just being no toilet paper to buy. So these are the kind of things that we touch on. We don't touch on the people getting COVID and getting ill. We just, it was more just about the bizarre behaviors of everyone during lockdown and trying to do the homeschooling. Me and Kelly playing these young parents that are trying to homeschool 3 children that are all at different stages of their education.
What ages were your children in the series?
So we have a 15-year-old, we have an 11-year-old, and we have a 6-year-old.
Feel that pain.
Yeah.
Only on
so
two,
yeah, the idea is me and Kelly's character are high school sort of sweethearts that I got her pregnant when we were at school. So we have our oldest child that's kind of been, we've kind of been forced together through our oldest child, and we have 2 younger children as well. And then we have, in the other family, we have Kelly's mother, played by Harriet Thorpe, who's been remarried to someone called Curtis, and their youngest daughter, Danielle, has come back to live with them because she was hoping to be a wag. She was engaged to a famous footballer, but this famous footballer has cheated on her, and now she's had to go back to her parents during lockdown. So she's in lockdown and grieving a broken heart in lockdown, which is quite interesting to see on camera. And then we have Spencer and Sean. Sean is my brother-in-law, so Kelly's character's brother, Harriet's son. They are a same-sex gay couple, and they have an adopted daughter that they are with in lockdown as well, who's going through a bit of a goth stage. And you obviously have Spencer and Sean trying to manage that phase that she's going through in lockdown. So yeah, that's kind of the 3 families there. That's what we've got.
It sounds fantastic and deep, and I'm excited anyway. Robin Williams is one of my biggest inspirations, and Dead Poets Society. I don't know, just the fact that you said that, I'm just like, I'm so interested to hear about, watch the mixture of meaning with humor. It's quite a beautiful thing. But so is each episode? How long is each episode? How long if there's 3?
I think
an hour, please.
I think I think they're between sort of 35 and 40 minutes each episode.
Oh, that's good. Okay, because I know I'm going to like them, and I'm going to get really cross when there's not. Amazon, if you're watching, make sure you get some more, please.
Recommission, yes, absolutely.
Literally, because it's so frustrating when you watch something amazing, you love it, and you get really immersed into it, and now we can binge so much, can't we? Then you've got to wait. You're like, we've all got a bit impatient.
Yeah.
But then again, Christmas, I will look forward to that. What would you say has been your most sort of challenging, or not a negative, but anything that you hadn't thought about? Because this is the first thing that you've obviously produced and acted in, and that's a lot. That's quite a lot. How was that?
Yeah. I found like writing from being used to writing children's books and having just kind of on Word and manuscript to sort of change it to a screenplay format was difficult for me. I was saying to Giles the other day, there's just this wonderful program you have on a computer called Final Draft that kind of just does it all for you. So if you're a writer and you're any kind of writer really, it can do different styles for you. I really recommend getting Final Draft because it's just a lifesaver in terms of structuring everything for you in the appropriate way. So yeah, that was a challenge. Yeah, and I think that was the main thing. I tried to enjoy it more. Going back into acting, I guess after not acting for a long time and having a bit of self-doubt because you've not done television before, and the acting I've done, I was always kind of playing the young panto boy or something like that. So kind of going from that to back yourself to play a youngish a father of 3 was different, but yeah, it was a challenge that that I ended up really enjoying. And to be honest, when we were all filming, we all just had a blast. It was it was like a family feel, like filming, and yeah, it was great.
So I mean, did these guys, did they all love it obviously as much as you did? Are they all keen to do more with you as well?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. From what I've from speaking to the guys since, we're all hoping that we're able to get together and film more, because we just had a blast, and especially with the kids that we had involved now, and just seeing stuff on like Instagram and seeing how quickly they're growing up after a year. It's just like, what, you look so much taller and stuff.
Yeah, my son, he met a friend and they were like, your voice is different, because it brought in, and it was just before, and then he was suddenly like, oh, and it's just, it's like years, and you were doing this during this pandemic as well, weren't you? So it's like you were really in it, doing it, being it, and then you're putting it out there. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot, but we had an amazing, like I say, Katie, who produced the show, who plays the eldest daughter in the show as well. She, we couldn't have done it without her, because she did all the logistics, the stuff that I would have no idea what on earth you're meant to do. She was the person that could put it all together and dealt with everything else. So yeah, I mean, she did an amazing job, and she was featured in the Forbes sort of top 50 young entrepreneurs or something recently. Yeah, so she's doing really well, and I think she's again will be someone that is a bit of a star in the making going forward as well.
Oh, well, that's amazing if you get to work with these people, and you see that growth there. So it sounds like it's got a lot of depth to it and a lot of meaning, but it sounds like it's going to be quite funny as well.
Yeah,
I mean, you seem a little bit cheeky, dare I say it?
Do I? A little bit cheeky. I haven't even done my Bert Cochran voice.
Playful. It's a positive.
Yeah, playful. Yeah,
playful. So I mean, is that why you enjoy acting?
Yeah, enjoy. Yeah, I do enjoy acting. It's just that. Yeah, it's a positive. Going back to drinking it, but it's like a positive escapism. Like you're not, drinking's kind of escaping using the wrong aspects.
Wrong aspects.
Yeah, to for your escape. So having acting and that sense of play and improvisation and writing for me is like in some ways been a lifesaver, because it's a positive, healthy escapism that has just done nothing but positive things for me. So
amazing.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it, I guess.
That's brilliant. I mean, I'm so excited. I mean, keep calm and carry on is great. I can't wait to see it. The Shapes of Stories is your podcast, isn't it? And that's one that you've been. I know Giles has been helping you with that, and so you're going to be doing more of that as well. Because I'm going to.
Yeah, I'm hoping so. Yeah, I'm hoping to see who I can
Giles
round up.
Which I'm sure.
Yeah, hopefully we can round up some people to do another series. I did really enjoy it. It was great talking to those people.
I'm the same. I love talking to people. You just you get something out of every conversation you have every day. It's a gift. I really. But so has this inspired you to look at doing different things as well? Like different. I mean, obviously you want to continue with these characters, or are you thinking, I might actually do something totally different as well alongside it?
Yeah. Maybe. Like I think when writing for TV, what I have discovered is like it's so hard to think of something that's different, that's not been done, because you're thinking so much different aspects of whether it be trolleys in the supermarket, whether it be this country, whether it be the office or school stuff. So much stuff has been done, so it can be difficult to find that unique thing. And luckily, I mean, the pandemic wasn't lucky, but it was an opportunity to do something and address something with some characters there. So it was just taking something new that everyone could relate to and hope that we could do something with that. So
well, I think the pandemic proved that, as hard as it, I mean, I had discovered all sorts of things about myself. I was absolutely terrified at the beginning. I couldn't watch the news in the end because I was like too scared to let anyone in the front door because I'm asthmatic. And I was like, you know, all those poor people. But again, I think what the pandemic did was it kind of exploded a lot of inspiration into people about what do I want to do and who do I want to be and you know, I started podcasting during the pandemic.
That's great,
when I started, because it was, you know, a way to communicate with people that we weren't able to do in any other way at the time. It was just, and I just think, I think this is, it's just amazing. I can't imagine to write something and then act in it and be a whole part of that process. That just would, I would love that. That would be a lot of fun, I reckon. It'd be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
So look, desperately plug away now to everyone that's listening to this.
Yeah,
everywhere for you. We can't wait to watch it here at the Big Chat. But it's the 28th of September, and it's Keep Calm and Carry On, and it's available on Amazon Prime
Video, yeah.
So Amazon Prime Video, which is really cool. So, and it's, you know, that's fantastic. So I'll be watching it. And then the Christmas, and you're allowed to tell us when the Christmas one comes out? Is that like?
I'm not even too sure when it comes out. I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's. It's I don't know if they're all coming out together or the Christmas one's coming out a bit later. I don't know, but that was you know, it was a nice finale, because I think at Christmas when we had that first year of COVID Christmas, although we weren't allowed together for a long time, we kind of were able to. We had, you know, with our families in the show, but we're able to have that reunion together, and that's how the series finishes. So, without giving too much away, it's nice to. It was nice that we got a day of all being reunited after the first 3 episodes, where you see us all isolated with each other's families. Immediate families in COVID.
Until you worked at Disney, you like happy ending.
Of course, yeah.
Who doesn't want a happy ending, right? Do you know what I mean? But that's, I mean, it honestly, it sounds so interesting. It's really interesting to talk to you. Giles has talked a lot about it and about you. And I'm really interested to look at some of your other books and the other things that you're doing. And also, I think it's a great advocate to, you know, to be so open about the mental health aspects of all these things, because there is such a stigma with, you know, many things that people are like, oh, well, they're just, you know, they're just losers, they just do it. And people need to numb some feelings that they're having. Yeah,
and I think some guys
about things.
Yeah, I think some guys need to remember. You know, a person I sort of use as an example, if you were to name the most macho guy on the planet, you probably would say The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. But like on there, you can YouTube it, you can type in The Rock depression, and he talks openly about dealing with depression. So if we, you know, I think men that kind of think, oh, you know, I can't, you know, show that I'm going through a difficult time. It's like, well, why are you worrying about having that a macho label when you can see someone like The Rock just, you know, talk openly about feeling, you know, really low at different points in his life before he sort of got his big break. Because, you know, he's probably the most alpha guy on the planet at the minute, you know, when people think of The Rock. So yeah, I think it's important to remember that, and it's completely okay to say when you're struggling.
It's absolutely, I mean, you know, I've learned a lot of that. It's like, wow, what? I'm actually allowed to tell people how I feel.
Yeah.
I don't have to walk around smiling all the time. And, you know, Giles is great. I can say to Giles, I'm really not feeling it today, but it's okay to do that and set boundaries and look after your mental health the same as you would look after your physical health or any other, you know, it's really important. And I'm glad we finally seem to be, certainly the younger generation they're being affected by it in different ways, but they're also being more educated about it. So hopefully there will be some good growth there, you know, one can hope. But I mean, I think it sounds really, really fascinating what you've created, and I cannot wait to watch it. You've mentioned your Essex. Does that mean that's where you are? Because you're not.
I'm not Essex. No, Simon. We had a.
You don't have to tell me where you live, but I'm just thinking. It would be so lovely to get you in the studio at some point.
Oh, of course. I'd love to come. I'd love to
have a chat with you maybe next year when you've done like the whole, you know, it would be brilliant.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I mean, I will make you do a bit of Dick Van Dyke. I will make
Okay. I'll do the intro to the show. as Dick Van Dyke.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Yeah. Love that. Come dressed up as Dick Van Dyke. It's fine.
Okay.
Really cool. No, but I mean, it would be really, really interesting to have a chat with you afterwards. I would love to have you in the studio because it's been great to soon chat to you because obviously you're super busy. You're doing a lot of podcasts. I think you did one with Blank this week, didn't you? You've done
the other day,
which I bet was fabulous, and as they all are. And I bet you've got a load more coming up. So you probably
I've done a few this week actually, and then a couple more.
Feel free to name them. Feel free to name the ones you want because other people want to hear about you. So good.
Yeah, cool.
You just check you out. Where's the best place for people to find out more about what you do?
I've never really been a massive Instagram person, but I'm trying to get a bit more into that. So I have Instagram, Prestidge Books. So Prestidge Books. I have a Twitter, which is L Prestidge 7, and a Facebook page as well, which is Lawrence Prestidge.
Find out more about you can do that.
And you can Google the podcast. So I've chatted to some people like. I know I think Strictly starts soon, and one of the people that we had on the podcast was Ellie Simmons, and she's doing Strictly, and I was actually talking to her yesterday very briefly, and she's very nervous about doing Strictly. So take the opportunity to wish her luck, and I hope she does very, very well on Strictly.
Nice. Me too. Because isn't that the thing that so many people, I think, they see on the outside someone they think is very confident, and they don't, I personally myself, I'm an introvert extrovert, so I'm very people always think I'm very confident, and my team know that, so if I'm not good on the radio. If I go on the radio, I literally get like the tremors because I can't read people's faces. It's just thing. It's just, and I think everyone has their different things. Some people don't like being photographed, that are some of the most successful models in the world. It's just, there's a lot, isn't there, going on behind closed doors that people don't know about. And we're going to see behind closed doors with your episodes. I'm very excited about
You are indeed, yeah.
I can't wait, and I'm going to be like, oh my God, that's you. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for sparing us the time, because I know what it's like on the run up to anything. It's crazy promo, and you probably everyone wants to talk to you about this because it's so, like you say, relatable, relevant, current, but also I'm sure there's some really important messages in there. So thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you very much for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, it's been a pleasure to be on and speak to you. I look forward to seeing more of your podcasts too. I'll definitely check some of them out.
You keep in touch, and you come and sit on my sofa. You can even have I've got another dog. You can have a dog on your lap. I
love it.
Quite nice cups of tea, and we're in the country. It's a nice day out. You can have a nice day out. Or try and get Giles up or something. I'm always trying to get him away from the beach, but he's just, it's difficult.
Oh, yeah, don't blame him too much.
I don't either. But it's been so good too. So everyone needs to check it out. Literally 28th of September, Amazon Prime. Check out Keep Calm and Carry On. Thank you very much, Lawrence, for joining the big chat today, and best of luck with it, though it sounds like you really don't need any. It sounds like it's going to be absolutely brilliant. So really, really lovely to talk to you.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.